Mr. Naveen Chakradhar นะคะจะมาบรรยายในหัวข้อ Adam's Technology Update นะคะ Over to you Naveen.
Good afternoon all. I think this is the last session. So it's nice to get connected and exchange with you all the advancement, what we do with respect to our solutions. So in between I was seeing a lot of presentations on Adams as well from the user community. So today I'm going to talk about the new interface. You have all seen Adams how it is, but in the next 30 minutes you will see a new platform which is called Adams Modeler. So I thought I'll take this opportunity to show this interface, and it's already available for you to explore. So we all know that Adams is the gold standard for multi-board dynamics simulation. It is utilized by engineers across industry to solve their most complicated mechanisms. While we So basically, we thought that we have to give something more to our customer in terms of user experience. So the improvements goes beyond just an improved user interface and focus on more on fundamental workflow improvements. So we'll see this how it is. What are the advantages for you? So what is Adams Modeler? If you see here, we're calling it as Adams Modeler. So you see also the environment is a little different. So it is the next generation pre-post processing environment for Adams users. We had Adams user interface for several decades, and we had got a lot of feedback from our customers in recent years that it is really showing its age, that it is the same interface, not much of changes. So what we have done is we spoke to a lot of our customers. We took their feedback, and we are leveraging our Apex platform. If you have seen the Apex platform, so we are leveraging Apex platform to develop this pre and post environment, and I'll be showing you what are its benefits in few minutes in the coming slides. So it's basically this is what I would say the next generation user interface for Adams is going to be. So, and it's also working in hand in hand with Adams View. What it means to say is you will see in the coming slides from this interface, if you have to switch to the old interface, you can always do that as well. So it's basically MSC, as I said, has established Apex as the foundation for the next generation of solutions of our product portfolio. So this goes beyond just a new looking interface and focuses more on the fundamental improvements to workflows and model building efficiencies. So one of the first product on this new platform is Adams Modeler. So you see, I'm sure some of you have explored Apex. So it's the same platform on which we have brought in multi-world dynamics Adams solution into this. So this will provide unified pre and post environment to interact with Adams models. So even you don't need to worry, old Adams model which are there in CMD can be imported, and same whatever you create here can be also exported into CMD, or you have a separate switch here which you click, it will automatically push this model into Adams screen. So there are a lot of advantages. So with improvements to leveraging geometry for construction, all this it helps in creating models and managing updates and visualizing results in very quick approaches. So you see all this quick cleanup, reordering the parts, intuitive visualization, and again the solver is again Adams solver. We have not changed it to anything. It's the same. Only the graphical user interface is Adams within Apex, and we call it as Adams Modeler. So it has a lot of advantages. I would say this what it is. So what was the need for generating this interface, if you ask me? So basically this new user experience is to streamline the fundamental workflows that are key to wide array of users, like more friendly and more modern way of modeling it. So but we took the time to focus on a lot of the gaps that started to appear in Adam's view since it was first developed. So, for example, in late 90s, like in year 1990, if you see, CAD was not priority in multivariate dynamics. So we say multivariate dynamics, within multivariate dynamics, the geometry is more of a visual purpose only. But however, in the present days, mechanism simulation activities supporting large and multi-level assemblies is a must. So we cannot ignore that. So we focused in the Apex platform to bring in CAD data, manipulating and leveraging it to mechanism design a lot easier. And second, it was to make a single tree visualization. You can see here, single tree visualization to search, navigate, filter, manipulate conveniently. So we reduce the picks and clicks required to do a lot of modeling. So it's easier. Once you try using it, you will get to know. And also we can, as you see here, it has a more tighter integration with the finite element analysis because Apex, as you know, is more of a preprocessor and also has a FES solver within it. So with this, we have more advantage to the users. And again, when you say CAD management, it's more what we bring into customer is. Second, let me see if I can. Is this screen visible? Maybe I can. It's okay. Yeah. So the pain, what you see at the customer was mostly they could not do manipulation of the CAD geometry. So they had to go back to CAD software, make the modifications, and bring it into Adams and grouping parts of CAD assembly into set of moving parts that make sense for embedded analysis is a frequent and time-consuming task because a lot of times there are some 100 parts in an assembly, and we had to do a lot of geometry. I would say not clean up, but we have to organize it, make a groups, and create some sub-assemblies. So all this and creating minor changes to geometry required CAD support. We have to depend on CAD people. So now with Adams Modeler, we are allowing you to create easily do drag and drop experience. Like you can, if you see here, I'm just creating a hole within this component and creating a MNF file within the same environment. And because of that reduction in mass, what is the loads getting changed? We can quickly see. We can add the number of bolts or add thickness here. So you can make a lot of design changes. So that's what we call direct modeling engine, which allows to simple modification to imported geometries. So it's eliminating the need for CAD support. So again, if you look at model management, it's basically the time for modeling, basically. So was the issue. Today now with this technology, we are able to create quickly a lot of connections. You can it identifies the geometry very easily. So it has a guided workflow for creation of model objects, and any change to the geometry results in generation of the associated model object. Like you can see here, quickly we can pick the surfaces, drag it, so and then we can add the thickness here, and then we see how it is reflecting in terms of the load generation, and also it gives a more flexibility. But again, when you talk about flex body, so we had to always depend on outside FEA codes, and also within Adams we had something called Adams ViewFlex, which allowed to do create mesh, but it was tech mesh. But whereas with Apex now as an environment for Adams, we can create a fine mesh, and we can create more fidelity, higher fidelity models. So also, like we had issue with stress recovery was complicated, and any geometric modification requires a new flex body to be created. In if, for example, after we make flex bodies, if there was a change in geometry, so again we had to create a mesh and then bring the MNF file. So now we can, because it's all associated, geometry is associated. So even if we make a change in that part, the mesh also will get refined, and it would quickly adapt, make necessary changes to the component. So you need to you need not do a reiterative analysis to that. So that's, I would say, another advantage of what we bring into you in terms of user experience. And as I said about interoperability, so if you see, this is the Adams Modeler new environment. So there is a small icon, I think you cannot see here, but it's a small icon here, which is looking like this. So if you directly click on this, this particular model will be open in the old environment. And again, at the same time, from the old environment, if you want to get it back to Apex, you can click here, and then it will push the model back to this new interface. So that way, we are allowing it to use the same model in two different interfaces. So customer, I'm sure in the beginning, he will not be very, he will not have so much expertise to use this environment, but slowly, until when he's fully, I would say, dependent on this, we want to give this flexibility to switch between different interfaces. If there are some customers who are using add-ins since 15 years, I would say that you know that we had some classic and default in the settings, two different switching options. So that would make the environment look like which was whatever was available in 2005. So now it's the same way for within Apex and Adams, we are creating this kind of switching option as well. So these are some small videos like how faster creation can happen. You're just picking the two edges, and then the joint is created. It is automatically finding where is the center between the two surface faces basically, and it creates a joint there. And associatively, for example, you try to pull particular geometry, you change the thickness, then everything is associated. So that way also it is easy. And then there's a built-in flex bodies. You're trying to create a solid mesh. So for example, you're setting the element size, and then quickly after you mesh, you say, okay, generate a flex body. So you're trying to create a MNF file within the same environment, and then if you see here, it generates, and you have a flexibility here to quickly change the property of the flex body either to rigid to flex. You can see the mode shapes and deactivate if you want to deactivate some particular modes. So all that flexibility you have, you can quickly go to a different mode shape and look at it how it is. So all that flexibility is there. And again, on toggling rigid to flex representation, you see this particular part, we are just going deactivating and then activating. If you see here, in the earlier case, this was rigid. Now where the flexibility is also included. So this kind of advantage you get more when compared to you see the older interface. So again, stress recovery, when you say this is also very important if you're doing some fatigue analysis. So getting the modal participation and the stress histories at these locations become very important. So that is also, it's more user friendly. So I'm sure you would, and again, once you have done this, you can look at the component level also, how is the stresses getting generated. So this is even like in Adams Flex, we were addressing only linear, but I think from in this environment, we'll be addressing to one more level higher fidelity. So with this release, I would say what is available for customer today, we are allowing all these features like generative CAD-based object definition, connectors, linear strings, joint motions can be given, forces can be given, flex bodies can be incorporated. And again, bidirectional model exchange is possible. And again, if you look at so stress recovery, so direct modeling, all these capabilities are available. And down the line, for car users, we are also trying to, already our team is working on it, but the current release is mostly for people who are working on mechanisms. So for them, it's more useful as of now, I would say. So the future is we are extending native features, enhancing the post-processing, supporting all the Adams verticals like car and driveline, and for sure direct exchange of models and results will with Apex will be there, and much more will be shared with you as we proceed. So the key message I would show to you is we are basically giving you more benefit in terms of democratizing its core technology. And when I say democratizing, what I mean to say is bringing Adams to the masses through guided simulation workflow that eliminate historical barriers to adoption, basically. And then enhancing efficiency, like decreasing time and effort required to build virtual mechanisms, prototypes, and realize your product promise. So again, with this, it's going to totally change how you are going to bring in more productivity in terms of creating models and getting more insight to the mechanism. So with this, I would like to say that this is the first step of Adams pre and post, a very intuitive modern interface. I hope you have seen this and you also acknowledge that it's more user friendly. And benefits, I would say, this should be the leverage investment in existing Adams model, improved model building experience via guided workflows, model accelerators, and associated modeling paradigm is all what it brings to you. So, and again, improved text body workflows with support for more diverse geometry, more automation, and stress recovery is what is also available for you. So, with this, I would like to end my presentation and thank you all. So, if any questions, please feel free to let me know and we address, or maybe you can reach out to Kanav and Kemerol, and we will do detailed sessions with you and make you more accustomed on this platform, how it is advantageous for you. So Kanav, over to you.